Good evening, everybody. First day of summer. I just realized that. It's 6:48 p.m. June 21, 2026. And am up I'm up north. I'm up in the Prescott National Forest on Senator Highway. Why they call it a highway, I don't know. I think it's just got history. It's a dirt road and it goes all through these mountains, I suppose. And it has for a long time. God, is this beautiful. It was a little bit busy when I pulled in earlier today. Traffic. I don't know, it might have been people packing up and leaving. But I had to drive past my normal spots where I had stayed in the past, and they were full. So I just kept driving, and eventually I got to this other section, and it's even nicer than the places I had been. So I pulled in. I haven't really done much unpacking. I'm not sure how long I'll stay. I'm going to stay in the area for a while, but I don't know if I'll stay in the same place, in the same spot. This is a double, and I didn't know that when I pulled in because it's huge. But apparently there are two, 4 and 5, and I'm in 5, and it's the same entrance, and people have driven by. I thought it was just one. But anyhow, I will decide that tomorrow. I'll just eat dinner and watch some YouTube. I finally got some clear sky to the north. Set up my... wonder if that bug... Anyway, and I'll be able to get some Starlink satellite reception. Just doing a little bit at a time, because it's been 108. It got as hot as 112 back down home, and every day it was at least 103. So every time I would start to do anything, it would drain me, and I wouldn't get much done, and I would just not care. I wasn't never been in a hurry. And of course, watching the weather, you think, well, there's a few days coming up of a little bit cooler. So I was kind of aiming for this day or in this time period to come up, and that worked out okay. But not knowing if I'm going to get up early and leave the very next day because I was ready to, that meant I was up at midnight because I couldn't sleep because I was anxious about coming up here. All right, bugs. Black flies. They're not bad. No mosquitoes, just little nut flies, little flies, fleas, gnats bugging me. Perfectly quiet. No wind. There's a breeze that comes through, and it's 20 degrees cooler here. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. It's 20 degrees cooler. It was 103 on the drive up here, and got here it was like 80. I don't know what it is now. It's probably 70. Perfect. The slightest breeze, not a sound. Gonna have to get out of the sun here. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just bear it. Bear with it. Bear with me. Not you, bear. Don't bear with me, bear. Well, I did kind of get the van working. One of the things I was working on in the last few days to get ready, Of course, I had thought I had fixed the door actuator motor, the lock actuator, and I left it disassembled a little bit. I left the panel off, knowing that I maybe need to troubleshoot it for a while. And sure enough, after a while, it became evident that it had started working backward. I don't know when it started. I tested that when I first wired it up. I tested that, and yeah, that's working as the same as the other one. But I must have gotten it wrong because a few days ago I was realizing, well, I can't get in that door anymore, and just kept messing with it until I finally realized when I pressed the unlock button, it was locking. And I had to press the lock button to unlock that door. So there's nothing you do. I just rewired it, and I guess I wired it wrong in the first place and tested it wrong, I guess. But anyhow, I put it all back together now, and it works for a while. Because I had bought a substitute motor to bypass that lock actuator. I put not a new one, but an alternate one. So I disconnected the one that's in there, the wires, and ran it to anyway. Well, I got that kind of fixed so that I can lock the doors now when I'm inside. I couldn't lock that before. It was frozen. It was frozen unlocked. So that's fixed. Wonder how the bros are doing. How you doing, bros? I hear a noisemaker. I don't know this hill. Of course, this road winds all over the place. I have no idea the direction. It's over there, but it's over there too. It's over there, and it's over there. But I was stupid as a kid. But as a kid, I gradually grew out of it. They make these vehicles, ATVs and motorcycles and trucks, as loud and noisy as they can. For some reason, I guess it makes it go a little bit faster. Doggone son, I thought I escaped it. I'll just move over again. But especially for ATVs, you come out here in the wilderness with the loudest damn thing that you can make to the quietest place on earth. Just to do that shit. And they'll be coming by. It's amazing. I have that tent, and down in the desert, I can't use that tent. Of course, in the summer it's too hot, but it's always too windy down there. Here, apparently, not so much. There's no wind. I don't know what it is, if it's the trees, the mountains. Because along with that idea of owning a place up here, a lot, a small lot, I would put up a windmill, a wind turbine, because like I said, down in the desert, wind blows all the time. Matter of fact, and I can't use the tent, and I had a hard time when I did have a wind turbine. I learned that you have to make sure that you can disengage and disable and slow down and whatever you put the brakes on, those things. And I didn't have that. There were times when that thing was going to spin itself right off into space, I thought. Blow itself apart, blow down. And you couldn't slow it down. And it would do weird things trying to slow itself down. Guess what it was doing when the battery, when it really gets spinning in a high wind and the battery gets charged fully, it diverts the current to a load and that load really drags down the speed through a big resistor, and it slows it down, and you can hear that happen. And it really makes weird noises doing that. It'll make weird noises because of the propeller. And so I've been putting a lot of thought in how to make sure that if you have a wind turbine, you have a way to disengage or let it bypass the wind so that it doesn't resist that wind and then have to dump the extra charge, the extra power. But up here, you might not be able to have one anyway because it wouldn't do you any good. And solar, you would have to... Yeah, solar would work. You just have to realize you would need an extra panels because you'd only get it when the sun was between the trees. But it would be totally worth it. Oh, yeah, buddy. 10 a.m. Monday morning. June 22, 2026. It's a slow morning. I've been putzing around just a little bit, trying to get things arranged. My dream in life is to one day, just for one day, wake up and be organized. I bet it never happens. It's I think it's June 23rd. I'm in the Prescott Valley National Forest on Senator Highway. This is an old original road that traveled a long way. So it's been here a long time. One guy said it was the original road from Phoenix to Prescott. It may have been that in the distant past. Right now it goes a ways, and I guess I haven't been able to figure out how far south it goes, but it does go all the way. It goes into Prescott. When I leave here, I'll take that road up into Prescott. Got to remind myself to go to Safeway. I've got like 191 points. I didn't. Those points expire. You earn points, but they expire after a while. And I've got 191 points that are ready to expire. So I've got to use them up by the 30th. And that's pretty good. I can... I got to leave here before that anyway for 7 days. The stay period here. So I can go by there and see if I can't figure out how to use those points for something. Good morning. It's about 8:30 a.m. Wednesday, July 28, 2026. And I've been up a while in Prescott National Forest on Senator Road, Senator Highway. And it's a beautiful morning, overcast, raining slightly, just a little bit of haze, but mainly rain is falling, but just barely. It did last night too, but it did not accumulate any amount, and this probably is just barely enough to show up on my windshield anyway. Not even enough to wash off the dust. I slept good last night. Nice and quiet. This is Senator Highway is a main road, even though it's very mountainous and rugged. It is well used through the mountains here. And I think there's probably a Forest Service station, headquarters somewhere on along this, because they have a lot of heavy equipment going down this road, hauling construction equipment and supplies. It's not bothersome, it's just taking note. I haven't done much walking around, just getting settled in with stuff. Haven't hiked around much. Taking it slow, got to get back into the physical aspect of living this way. Up there is the mountain that I filmed last time I was out in this area. There's it's recognizable by a slump near the top that kind of almost resembles a volcano crater, but it's not. It's just a slump. But I recognize that. A lot of granite outcrop in these mountains coming up here. It's all granite. Crumbling. These mountains have been here a long time. Anyway, I wonder what this witness mark is for. There's a red ribbon tied around this tree, part of this tree. And either there's a marker somewhere around it, or maybe it's designated to be cut off or something. I can't imagine that, though. Why would they bother with something like that? Anyway, it's a purposeful red marker tied there. I don't see anything in the ground around it. It's probably there somewhere. There's a green ribbon, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's somebody's porta potty. Anyway, there's a nice drop off around me here. There's roadway all around me. I'm at an intersection of Sundance Road and Senator Highway, and then there's a couple trails that lead off in different directions in the same general area as this intersection here. So there's a 5-way star intersection here, right where I'm at. This is the beginning of my 3rd day here. I will stay until, I don't know, maybe this weekend. Then I have been more or less deciding to go north a little bit more with the thought of going to Colorado. The weather's getting hot everywhere, though. Even in Colorado, California, it's hot. There's no use going west because it's as hot as where I came from. Here's a second campsite, just a little spur off of my main campsite, just a little marker here, and a fire pit and a big granite outcrop. This is interesting here. This is I don't think they would call this a pluton. I don't know. No, that's volcanic. Well, this is almost volcanic, metamorphic. There's a road. That's Sundance. It comes up and joins into, over here is Senator Highway. And in the background is one of those trails that leads up, and down to the left is Sundance that goes down. So I'm right at the intersection of all this. So I get a little bit of traffic, and it's not bad. It's not bad traffic at all. There's a goddamn big old spine from an animal there. That's pretty weird. Maybe somebody cooked something here. Yeah, these fire pits are useless. There's never a fire allowed in any of this stuff up here anymore. This is always in drought. And these are just a waste of, they're just a trash pit anymore. All of them filled with trash. And little signs that say no fire. Yeah, but a guy came by and stopped. It was just, we were talking, and he was telling me stories about, the Wolf Creek campground was closed because of bear attacks. One guy was killed there. He was feeding the bears. And one came back and killed him. So they closed the whole site down, the campsite. There's several campsites in the campground there, and they closed the whole campground. It's not too far from me. So I got my little persuader on my hip to discourage that kind of thing. And it's relatively clean. I just don't feel like picking up after people. Sometimes I get in the mood right away and just, why not? And I grab my bag and go around picking up trash. But and these things are just so unsightly. And the Forest Service doesn't clean them. After they get filled up, they'll move the doggone ring over there and just leave that trash pile just to disintegrate on its own. while this one fills up with trash. And so on and so on. And so you drive around in these and you realize, oh crap, there's another really old fire pit from long ago. And you go, I wonder what's laying around here. You start looking around and finding all kinds of freaking nails. People, now I've read about, you're not supposed to even bring out wood pallets. You don't burn wood pallets. They leave nails. Goddamn nails are everywhere. That was not one, by the way, but there's several laying there somewhere. And they're just small trash everywhere. There's one. And they're the spiral shank nails from wood pallets everywhere laying around. And you drive right in through them. And there's another old fire pit parked right next to it, full of nails. Nails laying all around it. I drove right through, and another fire pit over here. And these are totally, you're not supposed to do this at all. I mean, people just decided they wanted a fire pit here. You're not supposed to do that. Plus the fact that it's full of garbage. It's just a trash pit. And the Forest Service, they do not clean this stuff up. It'll just be there forever until that stuff blends in, dissolves down into the ground. There's a fleet of helicopters. I count 3 of them right there in that batch, and there's some more behind them. Obviously military. It's just helicopters of different types. Those Chinook kind I flew in a few times in the Army. Before that was some other type of helicopters. They were just making a lot of noise and got my attention. Otherwise, it's so quiet up here. You hear the wind and a few birds once in a while, and that really. Oh, I see a deer. There's a deer. Hello, deer. At least one. He saw me. He was watching me. Pretty cool. I have no idea if it's what hunting season is like up here. When it is, or anyway, that one's gone. Thank you, dear. He sure didn't hang around once he heard me. Now I hear a jet in the background. Anyway, that's all for now.